everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I've been gone for a while, like a really long time. I know I said I had all of these things and then there weren't any things, but I've had a really rough go of it this winter. It's been so cold and so much snow. I've been in bed. It just sucks, you know? Seasonal depression at its best. Before we get started, I want to thank my two sponsors this season, and that's AGL and Disc Dot. I'm going to put a code here for AGL and a code here for Disc Dot so that you can go on the website and get 10% off the entire website. So use those codes. Ed Hendrick, or Steady Ed as people called him, is widely referred to as the father of disc golf. In 1966, his design actually came out for the first disc, or frisbee, and he also went on to invent the disc golf pole hole in 1975. There are so many disc manufacturers out there today. I mean, it's really hard to keep up which is which and which discs are the best, but the first one in the disc golf scene was Whammo. Frisbee golf, or disc golf as we know it today, finally became an organized sport in 1974. The first national tournament was held in 1974, and they named it the American Flying Discs Open. Now, what was the payout for this very first tournament, you might ask? A new car. Yes, a brand new car, a 1974 Datsun B210. Crazy. I mean, I know that the payouts are good these days, but I've never seen a company give away a car. Moving on, in 1976, Steady Ed installed the first actual disc golf course in Pasadena, California at Oak Grove Park. Now, at the time, the disc golf basket that we know today had not been invented yet. It was just poles. It was like an object course. They were using all kinds of crazy things to catch their discs back then, including these giant nets that look like fish nets. I mean, they were doing whatever they could just to play the sport, and it's crazy to me. Now, the Oak Grove Park disc golf course is still open to this day, and it's definitely on my bucket list to go see this little piece of history and to play the course, because, I mean, disc golf has come so far since then, and I think we get spoiled with all of these extravagant courses like Flip City. I mean, I played Flip City last year for states, and it was insane to me. Going into 1976, Steady Ed finally created the Professional Disc Golf Association, or the PDGA as we know it now. His way of doing this was a bit different than you might see people doing things today, because it was so many decades ago that he sent out 100 letters to his closest friends and the best and brightest in disc golf at the time, asking $10 for a lifetime membership to the PDGA. And so the PDGA numbers were then born, with Steady Ed as 001. As disc golf started to grow and change and the word got out and more people started playing, a new company took interest and showed up on the radar. That was the company Champion. Now, today, we know that very same company by a different name, Innova. The first disc that they ever put out to the public was called the Eagle, to be known later as the Arrow. The Eagle, or the Arrow, was thought up and designed by the future Hall of Famer, Dave Dunapace. As years of animosity went by, Steady Ed finally and reluctantly gave over control of the PDGA to a group of players led by Ted Smethers. Now, this was a huge turning point for disc golf. I mean, one of the biggest. Things definitely started to accelerate after this happened. Now, in 1998, the idea for player ratings came about by sitting commissioner Jim Chalice. Now, Jim thought all of this up, and he sent his idea over to future Disc Golf Hall of Famer Chuck Kennedy. Chuck molded Jim's original idea into the rating system we have today. It has a special algorithm made by Roger Smith that nobody knows. Not even to this day, we don't know what the algorithm is. I have no idea how my rating got the way it is. Nobody knows. So many people have tried the mathematics, can't figure it out. I can't figure it out. I've asked. No one knows. For years, or decades really, the home of the PDGA was considered to be Toronto, Canada. That is, until 2002, when construction for a disc golf oasis started going up in Augusta, Georgia. Finally, in April of 2007, construction was complete, and the International Disc Golf Center was born. As you may expect, disc golf has grown exponentially since then. I mean, the growth is pretty much unprecedented. We have 150,000 PDGA numbers out there. Over 50,000 of them are active, as in these players are playing tournaments right now. To this day, they're still using their PDGA numbers. It's crazy to me to see how far disc golf has really come. Disc golf has moved to a worldwide phenomenon. I mean, multiple countries, Europe, Africa, Australia, everybody's picking up discs and going to play, and I'm sure that Steady Ed would be so happy to see what disc golf has become. I mean, there's even coverage on ESPN now. Like, we're finally getting the attention that we deserve as such an amazing sport. Disc golf isn't secluded to any one type of person. I mean, all walks of life play, whether you're young or older or rich or middle class or even poverty. I mean, I've played with guys that are completely homeless. I've also played with doctors and lawyers and surgeons. It doesn't matter. It's all inclusive. The future of disc golf, however, is relatively unknown, but I mean, I can say with confidence it's probably just going to keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. The way that ball golf is now is kind of like a template of what I see for disc golf and how big it could get and how prestigious it could be. I mean, disc golfers have been scrutinized and looked through a pair of biased glasses, so to speak, and that's not how it is at all for all disc golfers. A lot of people put a lot of time and effort into practicing to grow the sport and to get better. So to generalize a type of person that plays, it's just not true. But now that you know how disc golf got its roots, I know this was a very quick history and I might have left some things out, but if you would like, I can do a more in-depth history and go more in-depth year by year on what disc golf was doing. If you liked this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. If you liked this content, go ahead and hit subscribe and don't forget to ring that bell so that when I put out new content, you're the first to know. Before I get out of here, I want to quickly let you guys know that I will be also starting another video series. I like to think of it more as a podcast. I'm calling it Tea Talk, and it's going to go over like current disc golf culture and what's going on, and hopefully I can get some interesting people on. The first video is going to feature Amy Lewis, and she's just an amazing human being. If you don't know about her, I suggest you tune in, and if you do know about her, then you know you want to tune in. Well, that's all for me this week, you guys. As always, get out there, grow the sport, and keep progressing. One shot at a time. See ya.
The deck is stacked. You can whisper behind my back. You can show me how the odds are up against me all day long. But I've been through the fire and come out alive, and there's no more fear in my eyes. Oh, now I'm rising, and you can't bring me down. You can't stop me now.